The medical weight loss program did a lot of great things for me. One of the major things was it gave me a lot of self-confidence that I lacked before. And I had gradually put on a lot of that weight over the years and didn't realize, even in pictures, that I was obese. And I really had a lot of insecurities, and I know that I was going into different size clothing and things of that nature, but I never dealt with the fact that I was unhealthy and it was better for me to do something about it. And I didn't think I ever could because I never wore a belt. I never ate properly. I never exercised. That was never my forte. So when I got introduced to Dr. Gupta and the medical weight loss program, it was a blessing because I went to a belly buster seminar that he gave, and he gave a lot of great information about protein, things that you could eat that are better for you and would curb your appetite, as well as what you need to do, if you wanted to build muscle, or that you should work out and do cardio and things of that nature. So it ended up being a great advantage for me because it gave me a lot of knowledge as a patient before I even went to see him as a first-time patient. And I now have a lot of confidence I lacked before. I'm shedding and still shedding the pounds, and thus far I've lost 40 pounds, and I've done it in less than a year. And I do go to the gym 3 times a week, and I hate the gym. I have to admit I don't like exercising, but I do it because I've seen the results of it, and it has done great things for my self-confidence as well as my friends and family and coworkers seeing this change, and it does affect you in a lot of ways, more so than just on the outward appearance. And I've been able to buy a lot of new stuff. In regard to my health, it impacted me a great deal. Initially, when I had gone in to see family medicine, and I had been going to Dr. Gupta for years, but I went in because I had a high blood pressure issue, and they couldn't figure out what it was from. So Dr. Hoffman had done an EKG on me and found that I had a left ventricle that was dilated. And he said that I probably had high blood pressure for a long period of time. So that's when he suggested you need to go on medication immediately. And from that, I thought about my age, I thought about my weight and things of that nature, and I said, gosh, what can I do? And I felt so helpless. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew something had to be done because I might not live and I wouldn't have a good quality of life, and I wasn't happy anyway. It's like a lot of depression, and you cover things up and you think that, it's okay, or that's a gradual weight gain, whatever, it's not a big deal. But then when it starts affecting your health and you now have an answer to why you feel as bad as you do and you don't understand it, it makes you feel more equipped to do something. And I have to admit, I never thought that I would go to the gym regularly. I never thought I'd lose weight. I never had a desire to be smaller. I just wanted to be healthier. It's the only thing I prayed for is, Lord, just let me be healthier. And if I could get that, then I thought I can work all the other things out. So because I've never been one that was disciplined in my life, this was major for me. And initially I didn't see any changes, but I thought about my heart and I thought about my blood pressure. And I know I don't know my family history, but obviously this is something that I've had a long time and had no idea. So I said, well, let me just decide to make a choice. Do you want to live? Do you love yourself? I was always a Martha type person. I always was busy doing things, but they weren't of the greatest quality and they weren't the best decisions. And I always thought about other people before I put myself first. And I'm still learning how to put myself first. And that's a gift that I can never repay, but I'm grateful for. I'd say one of the primary things, because it was a lot of stuff. First off, I love the equipment that Dr. Gupta used to actually weigh you and figure out it actually gave you an assessment of your fat, your muscle, your water intake, things of that nature. So it was awesome to be able to go to an appointment and stand on the scale and it assessed exactly where you are, if you'd had any gain or loss of muscle as well as fat and weight and that sort of thing. So that was a big help for me because it's different than trying to weigh yourself on a regular basis, but you don't really know what it is. It could be water intake or some other things, but this actually allowed you to gauge if you've had any progress or if you've fallen off and you need to get back on. So there were times when I was able to go, instead of every 30 days, I went to see Dr. Gupta on every 2-week period because I wanted to kind of make sure that I was back on track. For instance, if I had started introducing spinning classes to my exercise regimen, I would go and do that, and then afterwards I would still do my leg exercises. And he suggested I stop doing the leg exercises because you can't do both. You're not going to allow yourself an extra day to have the muscles mend, so that you learn how to better exercise and your body has time to heal from what you've already done. So it was interesting to learn things about that part of it. So the weight scale was dynamic. It really helped me a lot. And every time I went to see him, he gave me a printout that I was able to take, and I could keep all of those and see what my progress was, and also adapt my eating habits too, because I did have a Ben & Jerry's Chunky Monkey ice cream pint, and I ate the whole thing, and he couldn't believe it because he asked me, he said, "You gained a pound." And I thought, oh, he said, "What did you do in the last 2 weeks?" And I said, "Oh, I just had some Chunky Monkey." And he said, "The whole thing?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "No, if you want some, if you have a taste or craving for something, have it, but do it in moderation," which is what I'm still learning to do. And I've done very well at it. But he said that if you take a spoonful of something and you taste it and you like it and you savor it, then you could put the rest away. Well, I don't know in whose house he does that, but I didn't do that. And I said, okay, I'll try and figure that out and do that better. And it's worked for me. It has worked. I've been able to eat less and enjoy it, savor it, and then leave it alone. Just the idea of learning what foods you can eat. Like water is very important, and I hate water too. So as much as I hate exercise, I don't like drinking water. I have now learned to enjoy water because I understand that when you're thirsty, nothing ever quenched my thirst. The sodas, the juices, all the sweet stuff, never did it. But when I drink the water, especially after you exercise or work out, you really do feel like refreshed. And I've started figuring out that that really is good. It's really good. And you can put flavor packets in it and things of that nature. But I've learned how to enjoy it for what it is, just water, plain water. So I've done that. And I just really appreciate knowing that protein in general is something that can curb your appetite. And there are other foods that you can eat and you can stay away from and refrain, deny self when it comes to bread and carbohydrates, which is, oh my goodness, do I love potato chips and any kind of bread, rolls, potato bread especially. I love those things, but I know they're not things that are going to help me in the path that I'm going down. So I can learn that I can refrain from that and have something else that's better. And I found a lot of great protein bars that are so good, really. They have one that's by Atkins, and it's a coconut mounds bar. It tastes like a coconut mounds bar, and yet it's healthy for you. And then you have others that have a lot of protein in them, and you can eat one right before you go work out if you didn't happen to have time to eat a meal before you go to the gym. So it's a lot of things that I'm now equipped and better understand that will work for me and my body rather than against me, and eating the chips and feeling bad afterwards, because, oh gosh, after you eat something bad, it does not make you feel good in your body. But now I feel so much healthier and have a lot more energy and more optimistic. Everything has changed. Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's people coming up to me now. In the beginning was like, "Oh, you look like you're losing a couple of pounds there. What are you doing? Are you on Weight Watchers?" Or I'm like, "Nah, I can't, nah." And I've tried Weight Watchers, I have to say. I've also tried the scale where you weigh your food and all these different things. None of that stuff worked for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work for other people. I also know many, many people who have tried to do the weight loss with these programs like Jenny Craig and others, and they would lose the weight, but then they gain it all back after they come off of the programs. And I felt that was so sad and troubling. Like, do you have to eat that stuff all your life? Is that a supplement? Or is that just something you do, but they regulate you according to your coming in to get the services they provide? That's why it's so much more important, and you feel like you're more in charge of things when you decide you're going to make this a lifestyle change and you're eating properly rather than looking for supplements to give you what you need at the time. I wasn't doing it for weight loss. I was doing it to be healthy. And I think if we look at the mindset, what is it exactly you're trying to do? Stop focusing on what it is you want in the physical exterior, and focus more so on what it is that you will get out of this as far as your health, just in general. Interior wise, I want my heart to be healthy. I don't want to have diabetes and depend on medication my whole life. And with others who don't have that problem yet, then maybe you need to focus on how you can prevent that. And preventive maintenance is much better than in trying to get a cure later on. I am glad that I did it the way I did it, because I am empowered now. I know that it will never change. It is a lifestyle thing I've done. I didn't depend on anybody or rely on anybody. Dr. Gupta was my guide. He gave me the information, equipped me with it. He met with me on a regular basis for my doctor appointments. We gauged what needed to be changed or what I needed to do a little differently or tweak. And my life will never be that way again. And I am grateful to him and the weight loss program for the many, many things that I've gotten out of it, which is immeasurable, too numerable to tell. But I tried to mention as many of them as I could.